Tonight, in the wake of two mass shootings, Democrats demanding an emergency session in the Senate on gun control, calling on Mitch McConnell to end the month-long summer recess and hold a vote on a background check bill that passed the House earlier this year. 2020 Dems are also focusing on the role of Donald Trump's race baiting.
Do you think President Trump is a white nationalist?
Yes, I do.
He's given license for this toxic brew of white supremacy to fester more and more in this country.
The president has embraced white nationalists. When white nationalists embrace him and call him their friend, I take them at their word on that.
I'm joined now by Democratic Senator and 2020 presidential candidate Kirsten Gillibrand. Thanks for joining me. What do we do now?
I don't know what Mitch McConnell's waiting for. I don't know what the Republicans in the Senate are waiting for. We should be heading back to Washington now to vote on common sense gun reform. But unfortunately, the greed and corruption of the NRA and the gun manufacturers have this forever chokehold. And Ari, we have to be honest about what this is. I mean, we really have people fueled by hate hunting down other humans with weapons of war. That's what we're dealing with. And there's no question what should be done. We should be back at our jobs, passing legislation to get these weapons of war out of the hands of people who seek to do harm.
As we get into how it really works on the Senate floor, is this a situation you see where Mitch McConnell's preventing a vote that would win? Or is this a situation where it would be important to push forward, but you don't know whether you have the votes?
I think he needs to push forward because I can't imagine another just spree of gun violence in this country like we've seen. We're already on mass shooting number 31 and 32 in this year alone. And we have a president who's been spewing hate and division, finding moral equivalencies after Charlottesville, saying they're good people on both sides. He's spurred on this white nationalism and this racism, and it's domestic terrorism. We have to call it what it is. And the fact that Mitch McConnell won't stand up to President Trump, the fact that other Republicans won't stand up to Mitch McConnell, I don't know where their spines are. I don't know where their decency is. So I'd like to have a vote to see if they're willing to do the right thing in the face of more and more gun death.
The president spoke about rebuking white nationalism today, as you know. He did not address or really in any way withdraw, obviously, his past statements, some of which we've mentioned in the broadcast tonight. He also raised the specter of video games as a driver of this. That's become more common among conservatives. Take a listen.
I look at this evil act, and let's condemn it for what it is. Evil. And I say, how long are we going to let, for example, and ignore at the federal level particularly, where they can do something about the video game industry?
We've watched from studies shown before of what it does to individuals. When you look at these photos of how it took place, you can see the actions within video games.
We must stop the glorification of violence in our society. This includes the gruesome and grisly video games that are now commonplace.
Your response?
President Trump should stop his glorification of violence. When he's at a rally in Florida and he says, we don't know what to do with these undocumented people, he wouldn't use those words, illegal immigrants, and someone shouts out, shoot them, he laughs. He literally laughs. When we have protests in Charlottesville, he says there's nice people on both sides. When people are screaming racial epithets, anti-Semitic epithets, he is the one driving this hate and this division. And so he is the personification of the glorification of violence. I think talking about computer games, talking about issues that are not related to the fact that we have a gun violence problem in this country. First it was mental health, now it's video games. Well, let's look. We have video games and mental health issues worldwide, but what makes America different, the reason why we have so many massive gun shooting and gun death in this country is because shows the prevalence of weapons, the fact that these military-style weapons can get into the hands of anyone, and they should be reserved only as weapons of war for our war fighters who are intensely trained on these weapons. It shouldn't be easy for any teenager to walk into a gun shop and buy a gun, particularly an assault weapon. They should be banned. And the large magazines, to have 9 people die in less than a minute, that means you're talking about a weapon of war that can deliver a round of fire that just kills people rapidly. That's what it's designed for. They should be banned.
Senator Gillibrand, thank you for joining us on this sad evening. I appreciate it.
Hey, I'm Ari Melber from MSNBC. You can see more of our videos right here, or better yet, subscribe to our YouTube channel below. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with us, and we appreciate that.